a big move there.
Why? The first 15 years inconsequential. St. Louis is where she found herself.
The first 15 years of Tina Turner's life, Myron,
She's
she just
from
said it's
Tennessee.
You can't say
Tennessee.
Tennessee's a huge music place.
But she came to St. Louis and changed her name to Tina Turner and became the rock and roll icon that she was ultimately meant to be.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, I didn't know that either.
It's good news.
Yeah, it's good news.
Information.
All right.
Anna Mae Bullock is her government.
I kind of like that even better. I got to be honest. That's a cool name.
Anna
Right?
Mae Bullock?
It's just classic.
That's a good name.
Now, I know Anna Mae from seeing the movie. Like, seeing the movie, I remember it being called Anna Mae. I didn't know she's from Tennessee, though.
Okay.
So she was born in Tennessee, but St. Louis is where she became Tina, the iconic Tina Turner.
All right. All right. Anyway, so we have a lot to get to today. Myron hanging out with us. The Seahawks are the world champs, in case people did not know that. They had a parade yesterday, and Ernest Jones, their stud linebacker, made our producers use the bleep button. Here's why.
Not only do we have the best defense in the world, we got the best team in the world. And quite frankly, if you got anything to say about my quarterback, you got anything to say about my defense, you got anything to say about our O-line, and you got anything to say about the city of Seattle, I got two words for you. You.
I was waiting for come to death row at the end of that. I'm just saying, the way he just set that up, I needed shiny suits. I needed something there. I was waiting for come to death row at the end. If you get it, you get it. Here's the thing, guys. I get Ernest Jones standing up for his quarterback. I get Ernest Jones standing up for his team. He should. That's the kind of guy you want as your teammate. But are we just going to act like the critique, Smalls and Myron, is not historically fair against Sam Darnold?
Why would his teammates want to put historical context around his career? They're sitting there looking at him being like, I'm a champion in part because of him. And Seattle obviously believed in him when they brought him in from Minnesota and gave him the contract. He said it was the first time in his entire career he felt comfortable and secure enough to buy a house because he actually felt like this organization believed in him and he could make a home there. Think about that. For somebody who was drafted number 3 overall, he felt stability for real for the first time in his career. And everybody in that building believed in him. He's talked about this a lot in the wake of winning the Super Bowl, that he would have never been able to do this without the belief of his family, the people closest to him, and the Seattle Seahawks. So, yeah, of course, this is their moment to sit there and be like, we were right, you were wrong, and we are going to big up our guy, and Sam Darnold.
Yeah, I mean, think about what happened to him, too. I mean, he won 14 games that the Minnesota Vikings were like, we'll go to the young player who's coming off a season-ending knee injury. We don't know if he's any good, but go ahead and do what you want to do in Seattle. We're going to pick him. So, I mean, Sam Darnold, I think, probably feels like he was slighted by the Vikings, overlooked, and now he found a home in Seattle and won a Super Bowl. His guy should be standing up for him like that.
Understood. But let's just go through this for a second. I totally get having your quarterbacks back, right? He's been amazing the last 2 years. Where Myron is in Minnesota and obviously in Seattle. But let's not act like the body of work would not indicate more bad years than good years. Just overall. And I'm not trying to take shots at Sam Darnold. Any way I do this, it's going to come off like I'm taking shots at Sam Darnold. I understand that, so I got to live with that, right? But if you think about, just do the compare and contrast. Sam Darnold was in the NFL 6 years prior to the Minnesota year last year and the Seattle year this year. His first 6 years in the league, his teams were 21-34 record-wise when he was the starting quarterback in the league for their team. 61 touchdowns, 55 interceptions. That's in 6 years total. The last 2 years, his teams in the regular season were 28-6, 31-7 with the playoffs. He had 60 touchdowns, one less than the previous 6, 26 interceptions. So he had more wins in 2 years than he did in 6, and one less touchdown in 2 years than he did in 6. More touchdowns if you include the playoffs. So I think it is fair for us to still be in a state of shock or surprise, Myron, for us to say, you know what, this is odd that Sam Darnold won it all. He's great, but if you told us he was going to have these 2 years coming out of USC, we'd believe it. If you told us he was going to have these 2 years coming off of the previous 6, we would not.
Yeah, I mean, a lot of that is because people want instant success from young players. I mean, Sam Darnold's not 37 years old. He's a young guy who found the right spot. And I think that, to me, is what you can give credit to. Last year in Minnesota, great system. Obviously in Seattle, great system. when you put him in the right situation, he has been pretty good. But who cares about what he did earlier in his career? That man has won a Super Bowl with the Seattle Seahawks. And to me, that makes him a top 10-ish quarterback. And I think that should be the focus.
And I think those numbers you gave are more an indictment on the team and the organization around him than of his skill set. Because coming out of college, we, like you said, expected him to be this guy. And Sam Darnold's career is a lesson in patience. It's a lesson in resilience. And it really highlights the fact that a lot of these quote-unquote busts at quarterback may have been very successful if they had landed with a better organization, an organization that put the talent around them, an organization that knew how to protect them so they don't get the career knocked out of them, an organization that has stability and continuity with the coaching staff and the scheme. He wasn't good early on in his career. The numbers are the numbers. The lack of team success, I should say, is the lack of team success. But I don't put that solely on his shoulders.
Guys, ask a quick question for clarification. Did you say lesson or lessons?
Lesson.
Okay. Because lessons is a word I'm unfamiliar with, so I thought maybe we had an early word of the day, but it sounded in my ears like lessons.
It's lesson.
Why are you laughing?
I don't know.
Something happened here. You used the word of the day and I didn't pick up on it already?
Do you want to guess?
I don't know what the word would be. Myron, you're nodding your head. Did I miss the word of the day already?
I don't know.
Okay, wait, hold on.
Michelle. Yeah.
I can't tell. No, I'm going to say no. I'm going to say no.
Okay.
Which means I obviously did. But so we have people, Ryan Clark, on our network saying he's top 9 in the NFC. Mm-hmm. We have other people saying, Myron just said he's top 10-ish, which I think is very fair. But is it fair to critique Sam Darnold? Is it fair to still question Sam Darnold? Or are we not allowed to at all bring up anything? Like I said on the air, and I've been ripped everywhere, that I think right now he's ahead of Myron's hometown quarterback, not where he lives, but his hometown quarterback, Jordan Love. Like I think he's ahead of him right now. I think I've been somewhat complimentary to him. But I do think because of the nature of this man's career, it is okay to still wonder a tiny bit about who is he. That's not like you can't wonder who is Mahomes. You're not going to wonder who is Tom Brady. This is not this quarterback that was trending towards winning it all.
Are you still wondering who Josh Allen is?
Ooh. Am I relative to winning? Yes.
Well, because Sam Darnold is the first person in that draft class to win a Super Bowl. He did it before Baker, he did it before Allen, and he did it before Lamar. So we're wondering who he is. He's the first one of a very decorated crop of quarterbacks in that 2018 draft class to win a Super Bowl. That's who he is.
Understood. But, I love Jalen Hurts. Do people question Jalen Hurts?
Yeah.
Okay. Myron, do you question Jalen Hurts at all?
Yeah, and you should.
Okay, so why is it not fair to do that with Darnold? Why are we getting pulled off by doing that?
But I don't know what you want him to do. I mean, he just won a Super Bowl. And they dominated the NFC, and then they went to the Super Bowl, and they dominated the best team in the AFC. And to Michelle's point, I think we need to save that energy for Lamar and Josh Allen and all these other guys who, to me, have fallen short in the big moment where Sam Darnold just succeeded. So I think Sam Darnold deserves all the praise after what he just did.
You just brought up something very interesting. That at this point, Myron, the critique should be those that don't win, not those that do win, regardless of individual ability being greater. No one is going to sit here and debate, should Josh Allen and Lamar Jackson be taking over Sam Darnold? That is the most obvious thing in the world, as individuals. But the questioning should go to, yet again, those two guys not winning in your mind?
Yes. I mean, to me, when are we going to get behind Lamar being an MVP-level guy, but obviously not doing it in the postseason? Josh Allen had a clear path to the Super Bowl. He had to go through a bunch of inexperienced guys, and maybe the final boss would have been Sam Darnold. He didn't even get a chance to do that. So I think that, to me, is where the criticism should come for those guys. Not a guy like Sam Darnold, who wasn't given many chances to get to that level and yet walks away with a ring this season. That's a great story.
And I know Sam Darnold was not the Super Bowl MVP, but he played up to the moment. We're not wondering if this defense carried him or if the run game carried him. He, with an oblique injury on the biggest stage, was able to execute in the NFC Championship game, and he did it again in the Super Bowl. He didn't have any turnovers in the postseason. So I think that's another noteworthy part of this is we're not talking about Sam Darnold just being a passenger. He was a bus driver for a lot of it, which is very noteworthy given the peer group that we discuss him in.
888-SAY-ESPN, 888-729-3776, your telephone number to join the show. Fair to still question Sam Darnold or no more questions? Myron and Smalls are saying, that's it, no more questions. And I'm saying, you know what, if you want to ask a question, that's okay, because the body of work for 6 years is way worse than the body of work for the last 2 years. 888-SAY-ESPN, 888-729-3776. Still okay to ask a question or two with Sam Darnold, which, by the way, Ernest Jones is going to tell you off. He's going to curse you off if you do that. Or no more questions around Darnold. We'll get your phone calls in on that. And is his success actually replicable moving forward for other quarterbacks on other teams? We will get to that after Small says this from the Wellness Company.
That's right, Evan. Cancer rates are rising.